welcome to this session about the Tableau workspace. I'm right at the Tableau start page. Basically, this is the first screen that you're going to see when you open the Tableau application. And is the page whereby we can be able to connect to data. And therefore, in this session, I'm going to connect to Superstore data, which is set right in my desktop. And you're going to realize anytime you connect data to Tableau, Tableau is going to automatically take you to the data source pane or screen for that case. And it's the screen which is divided in a number of sessions, whereby we have the left side of the screen, where we can be able to see the kind of data we connected to. And for this case, is Superstore data. And right after that data, we're going to see the number of tables which are part of the data. And for this case, my data has 3 tables. One is orders and people and returns. And therefore, basically the left side of my workspace of the data source screen gives me all that information. And in cases whereby I need to add more data, I want to go back and connect to new data to do to perform activities or operations like data joining and data and unioning data. I can add data from here. But now there is the other section of the screen. This is the canvas you can be able to see here. And basically here is where we drag the table we need to use in our analysis. And for this case, I want to use the orders table. Basically, is the same canvas whereby we can be able to see or access information which tells us how that Tableau data source was created. We will be able to know whether there were joining which were done or whether data union was done. And therefore, the lower part of my data is going to contain the data grid, and basically it's going to show me the top 1,000 rows of the data I'm connected to. And if I switch from data grid to metadata grid, I can now be able to see my fields, but now for this case are going to be in raw forms, are going to be converted to rows. And it's the same page that I can be able to perform a few data management tasks. Maybe I need to change my data type from string maybe to a decimal, or I need to create a new calculator field, or to group my data, or to add the different aliases I need to use in my analysis. All those operations I can be able to do at this screen. But now I've created my Tableau data source. I now need to move forward and do my analysis and visualize my data. What do I do next? The next stage, I'm going to go to sheet level. I can click this worksheet. And you're going to see, once I do that, I'm now going to have a new workspace. And I need to talk about this workspace because in the next lesson, we're going to show you, or now we're going to begin to utilize all these parts in doing our analysis. And therefore, in this worksheet has a number of items I need you to know. There is the menus. Basically, menus are going to give us access to various objects we need in our analysis. And there are the toolbar. Toolbars are just shortcut of some activities or actions we can perform in menus and other places. Like let's say add a new sheet, right? So all those ones are contained on the toolbar. And on the left farthest point of it, you're going to see the Tableau icon, which takes us to the start page, whereby we can be able to connect to data. But there are also other parts of this workspace which is very important. I need you to bring to your attention. First of all is the cards and the shelves. And by cards, I mean the pages, the filters, the columns, the rows, and the marks card. All these cards, everything that is contained in this part. And basically, these are sections whereby we drag our fields into to add data in our view, just like I've done there. So by dragging fields in any of the cards or shelves, we can be able to add data in the view. And using toolbar, we can be able also to access shortcuts like labeling my data, like sorting my data, and so forth, so forth. And also, there's another section of this screen I need to talk about, and this is the data pane. Basically, this section is a section whereby I will be able to see the data I'm connected to and the fields which are part of that data. And now for this case, the fields are going to be divided to dimensions, and basically dimensions contains qualitative values. These are names of places or names of people, dates, and geographical fields. And there are measures. Measures is going to comprise of numeric values or quantitative values that we can be able to measure are going to contain under measures. And basically, anytime you drag a measure field to your canvas, not to your canvas, but to any of the shelves, you're going to see Tableau is going to aggregate that field automatically. You can see my field is already saying some discount. But there are other parts of the view or of this screen that I need to put some emphasis onto. There is the analytics pane. Basically, analytics pane gives us access to objects which enable us to perform some analytical objects. Basically, these are analytical objects. And I'm talking of when you need to use a reference line. And quickly you can have an average reference line. When you need to do forecasting, clustering, all these items are available for you under analytics pane. Other sections of the screen include sheets, dashboards, and stories. And I think we will be going through each and every part in details in the next classes. So I want to say thank you for listening, and I hope you're going to stay tuned, because the next classes we're going to learn more about how to utilize these tools for the greater good of ourselves and organizations, and therefore I look forward to see you. Thanks for watching.